Don't it feel good, everyone? NFL Divisional Round is here. Weekend coming up. Welcome to the B&E podcast. He's Ed. I'm Brandon. 18 remains. 8 teams remain in the quest for a Super Bowl, and the Chiefs are not one of them. Ed, how you doing?
I'm doing good. They say the divisional rounds are usually the best week of football. I don't know if
Yeah.
it'll top last week. There was a lot of good games last week, so hopefully this does live up to what they say a divisional round being the best week of football. But I'm definitely ready for it. Let's get this
Definitely.
opening drive started, shall we, everyone? The Giants are planning to hire John Harbaugh as their next head coach. Brandon's boy Todd Monken is reportedly joining the team as the offensive coordinator. The Commanders are hiring DJ Williams as their quarterback coach. He's the son of Doug Williams, everybody. Wide receiver Adam Thielen is retiring from the NFL after 12 seasons. Sam Darnold expects to play despite injuring his oblique in practice on Thursday. Fred Warner will not be back for Saturday's game against Seattle. Rams right guard Kevin Dotson will suit up against Chicago after missing the past 3 games with an ankle injury.
Okay. All right. The AFC's top seed Denver Broncos will host the Buffalo Bills Saturday afternoon at Mile High. There's about three keys to this game, in my opinion. Number one, Josh Allen versus this Denver front seven. Two, that Broncos red zone defense. And three, RJ Harvey, Jaleel McLaughlin, and those Denver running backs. So obviously, Denver defense has led the NFL in sacks this season with 68. Will they be able to get after Josh Allen, get him to the ground, or will he be able to continue to elude those defenders and make plays downfield? That's the key as well. The red zone defense that I talked about for Denver, especially inside the 10, if they can keep Josh Allen from running it into the end zone, I think it increases their chances to win a lot because those are a lot of his rushing touchdowns are right there inside the 10, inside the 5, where he just walks in. And then those Denver running backs, man, can they establish the run against the mediocre Buffalo run defense, especially when the offense has been known to start slow this season? So yeah, I can't wait to watch this Denver defense go up against Josh Allen and James Cook. Those guys are fast at every level, playmakers all over this defense for sure. But I do honestly feel like it is destiny that's going to carry Buffalo to the Super Bowl at this point. No disrespect to Denver in this, the season that they had to earn the top seed in the AFC, but I just think Josh Allen will play one of his best games in his career and make more plays than his opponent, Bo Nix. So yeah, give me the Bills in a close one. Ed, how do you feel about this one?
Yeah, I need to see how the battle of the trenches is gonna go, man. They say the Bills said they activating Ed Oliver, probably one of their best defensive linemen off of IR. So we'll see if he plays. Usually, when I say somebody's gonna play or not play, the opposite happens. So I'm not gonna say whether he plays or not. I'm just gonna tell you that he got activated off the IR. Another person for the Bills got activated off the IR was Curtis Samuel, one of their wide receivers. So they lost 2 wide receivers last week, Gabe Davis and Terrell Shavers, I believe is his name. So they're kind of thin at wide receiver. Khalil Shakir had 12 catches last week's against the Jaguars, so I'm wondering if he's going to have that type of performance this week going against the Broncos in Denver. And then wondering if the tight ends Kincaid and Knox, if they'll have big games too. But like I said, battle of the trenches. So I'm going to see really interested in seeing how James Cook and that offensive line of the Bills does against the Broncos and their defensive line. I think that's going to tell us a lot about how this game is going to go. And then for the Broncos, I noticed last week, it kind of the Bills defense kind of remind me. I'm not saying they were similar, but they kind of remind me a little bit of what the Vikings were doing, where they put a bunch of people on the line looking like they're going to blitz. Sometimes they would blitz, and sometimes they would drop a bunch of people in coverage, and it looked like it confused Trevor Lawrence a lot. So I'm wondering if they're going to have that same type of strategy against the Broncos and how that's going to affect Bo Nix, who's a little bit more mobile. So I'm wondering if he sees all these guys coming up in the line, is that going to spook him to try to get the ball out of his hands quickly or just take off and run it? And then he gets juked out by the defense who's actually dropping off in the zone. So I'm going to see how that works out too. Um, I agree with you though, man. I'm leaning towards the Bills in this one. I just think Josh Allen's gonna put on his Superman cape and do what needs to be done, especially in the clutch moments. I think only chance the Broncos have is winning this game if they just absolutely dominate the time of possession, where Josh Allen's only on the field for like less than half the time that the Broncos are on the field, and then the Broncos defense has to play perfect. I mean, they have to hit Josh Allen when he's throwing the ball. Don't let him scramble because he's going to get some yards on the ground. I mean, it's just bound to happen, but they're gonna have to take him out, hurt him, dirty up his jersey, and I think that's the only way the Broncos will have a chance to win this game. Bo Nix, no turnovers, of course. Like you said, Jaleel McLaughlin, RJ Harvey, and those guys definitely gonna have to run the ball. But Broncos, I think they're gonna have to dominate the time possession, and the defense gonna have to play perfect. But I just think, like you, they don't got. I mean, the Bills don't got to worry about Mahomes, the big brother. Joe Burrow's not in there either. He can make magic happen to get to the Super Bowl at least. I just think right now the Bills, like you say, are destined to go to the Super Bowl. But yeah, so I'm leaning towards the Bills in this one as well. See how it goes.
Oh, my bad. Seattle, fresh off the bye. They will host the 49ers at Lumen Field Saturday night, and this is the third matchup between these NFC West powerhouses.
Yeah, man. I would really lean towards the 49ers, but they're so damn banged up. I mean, I say it all the time to coaches. Robert Saleh might got to go out there and play in the front seven because they definitely going to need it. I mean, Bosa's out. The first round pick that they got this year, he's out. They don't really have a lot of people out there who can, off the top of your head, who can get to the quarterback at this time. I know Sam Darnold's dealing with an oblique injury, but I think he'll be okay against his 49ers defense. He just needs to play simple. They don't have to do too much for him. Give it to Jackson Smith and Jigba when he needs to, but let Kenneth Walker, let Zach Charbonnet do most of the heavy lifting. And then every now and then look for JSN, as I just said, and give him the ball. They got to play behind that defense, arguably number one in the league, and just make sure Brock Purdy doesn't get things going because, him and that Shanahan offense, they just plug and play guys. I know George Kittle's out, huge loss for them. I kind of feel like I said last week, they're going to rally around that and play for George Kittle. They might give them some extra motivation going out there. But as long as the Seahawks don't allow the Niners offense to go crazy on them, I feel like the Seahawks should win this game. I just say that to say this though. I just Sam Darnold, man, in the playoffs. I mean, the times he's been in there, it hasn't been too good. I mean, maybe this is the year he gets it together, everything clicks for him. I mean, he's got JSN, he's got two pretty good running backs. Rashid Shaheed, they traded for him. He's turned out to be pretty good. And then I haven't mentioned this guy, Cooper Cup. I mean, he's got some experience in the playoffs, won a Super Bowl MVP basically. Wouldn't be surprised if we hear his name making some big plays a lot, especially if the game is close. But I think the Seahawks defense will be able to turn Brock Purdy over. Only thing I really think they need to worry about is Christian McCaffrey. They can shut him down. That's pretty much like more than half the offense, in my opinion. They can shut him down. They got a good chance to win this game, and I like the chances. But at the same time, Seahawks is just Sam Darnold, man. It's hard to trust him, but I'm gonna trust him this game. Sam, I'm gonna trust you, man. Hopefully, you got your Ghostbuster suit on this game, man. But yeah, I'm going to Seahawks in this one, but I think it'll be a close game, honestly. How about you, Brandon?
So yeah, I'm sure Sam Darnold's going to be out there. I know he's dealing with that oblique injury. It's been a lot of headlines today on all the sports shows whether or not he will be suiting up for this one, but I think it's just too big of a game for him to miss. If he can fight through the pain, he'll definitely be out there. But yeah, it's extremely hard for me to trust him as well. He's like Kirk Cousins to me in that regard. Uh, but if he could beat that 49ers team on Saturday night, I should feel a little bit better about him, but I'm leaning towards Seattle as well. Again, not because of Sam Darnold, but because of his wide receivers, special teams, and defense. It's a defensive unit that can get after the quarterback without blitzing. They have fast linebackers. They have that Swiss Army knife and Nick Warney. You mentioned him a couple times on this show as well. Special teams, they've been better since the acquisition of Rashid Shaheed, as you mentioned, kicking him, kicking to him kind of puts that big play threat into the game, kind of like Devin Hester, Dante Hall, Deion Sanders back there in the returner position. We saw what he did. I believe it was against the Rams a couple weeks ago in that game, and kind of turned that game around, and they ended up winning it. And then, of course, the wide receiver room, man. Cooper Cup, the veteran. Shaheed is that deep threat. You can get it out to him in, 20, 30 yards downfield, and he could take it from there. And then JSN is the beast. Uh, Damn near 1,800 yards receiving with him averaging more than 15 yards a catch. So the guy can definitely make plays with the ball in his hands. And all three of these wide receivers can run block as well. And not only can they run block, they do it very well. So yeah, I respect what San Fran did last week against Philly, but I think that Seattle's a whole different monster. They could win games because of either unit, even if Sam Darnold doesn't play his best, and let's say he doesn't suit up. I believe Drew Lock is the backup. They can. I think they could still win. But yeah, CMC is going to be the focal point for Seattle when they're on defense. They got to be alert where he is at all times. He can catch the ball at the flat. He could run the ball. We all know what he could do. He's like the best dual threat running back pretty much in the league, him and Bijan Robinson. But also be aware there's second tier players with San Fran. Jawan Jennings, Demarcus Robinson had a huge week last week. Um, and as well as Jake Tonges. He's going to try to fill the void of George Kittle, who is on IR for his injury. But yeah, unless Kyle Shanahan has another bag of tricks with him, I like Seattle in this one. They're at home.
All right, let's get into the AFC side of things again. Texans taking on the Patriots. This is a really good matchup. I think that's the most anticipated matchup for me. Brandon, what are your thoughts on this one?
So yeah, pressures on both of these offensive lines to show up and play better than they did in the wild card round. Drake May was taken down 5 times. He had a fumble as well. CJ Stroud fumbled twice, threw an interception. I know that wasn't on the offensive line, but his offensive line did surrender 3 sacks. I think the difference maker will be the Texans wide receivers. We know Nico Collins is not going to be out there, so we expect Jaden Higgins, Xavier Hutchinson, Jalen Noel, had a big game, I believe, in the wild card round. Those guys need to step up um, like they have over the past several weeks, excuse me. And I think if those guys continue to make plays in space, including Christian Kirk, can't forget about him. He had a really solid game last week against Pittsburgh. They'll help take some of that pressure off CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud, though, the quarterback, he's going to have to extend some plays. He's going to have to get the ball out fast as well at the same time because New England defense was all over Justin Herbert a week ago. But at the same time, New England's defense hasn't been strong against tight ends. So it might be a good game for Dalton Schultz to show up and produce as well. We know Drake May, he likes to target guys downfield. About 3 to 4 times a game, he has those big plays. I can see Stingley, Lassiter, and Petrie making a play or two on the ball, and I think it could be the difference. Plus, we've been talking about the Houston corners a lot this season, and it was Kalen Bullock who had a interception last week, a pick six there at the end against Aaron Rodgers. So I'm really interested, though, to also watch Will Campbell, the rookie left tackle for the Patriots. How will he do against Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson? He really struggled last week against Sadafe Owe and Khalil Mack. And I know he had some, I think he had some not so kind comments to the media the other day about his performance. But either way, what you put on film is what you put on film. So yeah, give me Houston by 4. I think they'll have a great defensive play to seal this one again, kind of like they did in the wild card game. Good defense travels, and they definitely have a great defense there with Houston. Give me Houston over New England. Ed?
Yeah, man. Like I said, this is for me definitely the most anticipated matchup. I'm hoping the Texans win, man. But it's the way CJ Stroud played last week, man. Like I said, him and the offensive line, mostly him though, he needed to thank every defensive player, coach, assistant, the damn water boy, anybody, water girl, whoever, the towel boy, towel girl, everybody, because he was just trying. It seems like at sometimes he was trying to lose a damn game. So he definitely needs to play better this week against the Patriots. I think I like the Texans defense way more than I like the Patriots defense, but right now, I like the Patriots offense more than I like the Texans offense. But if the Texans want to win this game, I really think they need to do what they did last week pretty good, which is run the ball. Woody Marks had over 100 yards rushing, and Nick Chubb was pretty complimentary too. 10 carries, 48 yards. If they want any chance of winning this game, they need to have that type of performance again. And CJ Stroud definitely cannot turn the ball over again, especially in the red zone. And I just wish, I've been saying this a little bit. I just wish if the defense give them the opportunity, just run, get down quick, but just run, man. Stop trying to extend the play and then throw it into triple coverage or have a bad throw. Just run, get 3-4 yards like that, and live to fight another day, man. Just sometimes I feel like he tries to do a little bit too much in the pocket, or he doesn't take the lanes when it's given to him to run. I just wish he does that. And I'm glad you mentioned it too. Dalton Schultz, I think, especially with Nico Collins out, as you said, Dalton Schultz needs to step up a little bit more. Last week it was Christian Kirk, 144 yards, had an amazing game. I feel like his connection with Dalton Schultz should be better because I think Dalton Schultz is a hell of a tight end. I think, man, he could utilize him a little bit more. Just for some reason, they don't seem to connect. Because I think last week, Dalton Schultz had like 3 catches of like 10, 12 yards, something short like that. Get him the ball a little bit more, and maybe I have a chance to win this game. But I just don't know, man. CJ Stroud, he's not Sam Darnold because he's won a playoff game. Last year, he won a game. I think his rookie year he might have won against him. But I know he's won some playoff games. Can't say that for Sam Darnold. But the way he's been playing like this year, a little bit last year too, has just been so up and down. If he's, turning the ball over, has those head scratching type of plays, it might be a long game for the Texans. So right now, my mind and my gut is telling me Patriots. My damn heart, though, I want the Texans to win. I want the Texans to go all the way to the Super Bowl. Honestly, I'll put that out there right now. But I don't know, man. I'm leaning towards the Patriots, though. Unfortunately, we'll see how it goes, though. All right, we're going back to the NFC side of things. We got the Rams traveling to Soldier Field. I believe that's the name of the Chicago
Yeah.
Bears stadium to take on the Bears. Caleb Williams had a hell of a game coming back against the Packers last week, and the Rams, Matt Stafford and company, had a hell of a game coming back against the Panthers. So both of these teams coming off of games where they had to come back and win. I think momentum is high on both sides of the ball. I don't know if the Bears will want to go down 21-3 again. I don't think the Rams kicker is going to have the yips and miss a bunch of field goals and extra points like McManus Packers kickers did. I doubt that'll happen, but you never know. This is another game where I'm looking at the battle of the trenches. I like the Rams running game a lot. Kyron Williams and then Blake Corum, go blue, Michigan running back. He's been coming on a lot lately, as of late, especially later in the season. So I'm looking at both of those guys to have a hell of a game. And then, I'm not even, we all know what Puka Nakua is going to do. Devontae
Yep.
Adams, another game back. I want to see what these do. But these tight ends, I think you mentioned it a little bit last week for the Rams, but these tight ends, Parkinson and crew, they can make plays when they get the opportunity, man. We talked about last week, Parkinson had a hell of a catch, catching that game-winning touchdown against the Panthers last week. So I'm looking to see how the Rams can exploit this Bears defense because yes, they do get a lot of turnovers, but they also get a bunch of points scored on them too. We saw it early or late in the year. The Niners, they put up a bunch of points on them, and then even the Packers, they put up 28 points on them, if I'm not mistaken. So there's opportunities to be had for the Rams. Now the Bears, though, Caleb Williams, I talk about it, hell of an arm, super fast for a quarterback, probably the most athletic. I mean, him, Josh Allen, but definitely one of the most athletic quarterbacks in the playoffs right now. I want to see how they're going to do that offense. I think I talk about the Bears offense. You mentioned it last week how the Panthers are able to throw the ball in the Rams. I think Caleb Williams is going to have an opportunity to do the same thing. Definitely looking at DJ Moore to have some opportunities. I said it last week. Emmanuel Forbes, we're gonna hear his name called a lot. I doubt it'll be in a good way. I think he might be one of the guys to get picked on, honestly. DJ Moore, we saw the rookie wide receiver whose name Burton. I think he's gonna have another good game. And then Coastal Loveland pretty much had like a breakout type of game. I feel like
Yep.
the Rams are gonna try to shut him down. And we'll see how that goes. And of course, DeAndre Swift and Monangai, how those guys are going to do against this Rams defense. Well, I think, honestly, I think the Rams are better everywhere except maybe special teams. That has been a weakness for the Rams. But I think offensively and defensively, the Rams are better. We'll see what happens if the Rams get messed up in the special teams. They did let go of their special teams coordinator late this regular season, so we'll see if they're still shaking and reeling from that. But right now, I'm leaning towards the Rams. I do think Caleb Williams will have a little bit tougher time. He might throw a pick or two. He's like 50-50, but when he's on, he's on. But I think he'll have a little bit more trouble. I think Sean McVay will have a good coaching test with Ben Johnson, though, especially on the offense side of the ball. But right now, I'm gonna lean towards the Rams in this one. A lot of people are talking about the weather, but both teams gonna have to play the weather. It don't matter Chicago at home. Both teams gonna feel this weather. So I don't really see the weather is gonna be too much as a hamper, if anything, for Rams coming to town, honestly. But Brandon, what are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, and remember the Rams went into Philly last year. It wasn't as cold, but it was snowing, to beat the band, and they, pretty much took Philly down to the fourth quarter in that one. But yeah, just like you are with the Panthers this year, that's how I've been with the Bears. Pick against them and they mess around and win. But I'm gonna do it again. I'm taking the Rams in this one. Yes, Matthew Stafford's a little banged up. We know he's dealing with that hand injury, but he knows the Bears very well. He's played in that venue several times. He knows how to deal with the weather. Of course, his compadre, number 17, Devontae Adams, also played there several times as a member of the Packers. So that is, I don't think that, again, the weather will be a factor as well. I agree with you in that standpoint. On the field, though, the Bears, they will not have an answer for Puka Nacua, in my opinion. They will not have an answer for Devontae Adams in his sure hands, as well as his red zone abilities. And they will not have an answer for that 13 personnel that Los Angeles likes to run with 3 tight ends, 1 back. Okay. All Stafford will have to do is to get the ball to one of those guys, and I think that they will do the rest. You mentioned a lot of turnovers forced for this Bears defense, but just as many yards and points given up as well. One of the worst pass defenses in the National Football League, this Dennis Allen unit there in Chicago. I fully expect, though, Caleb Williams and his playmakers to make some noise as well. I don't think it'll be as easy as it was last week against the banged up Green Bay defense. Plus, Los Angeles, they have multiple guys that can get after the quarterback and take them down. Byron Young, Fisk, Landman, on and on, just to name a few. I will, though, be watching if that pocket collapses for Caleb Williams and if he extends plays. As you pointed out several times, that's when he's at his best. You mentioned like he'll miss wide open throws when just sitting in the pocket, but if he has to get out running either side, he could just nail a pass downfield. On the other side, I'll be watching for Puka Nacua. He gets the ball in his hands, good things happen. He reminds me of a player on NFL Street, the old video game. He just, guys just doing whatever out there, juking guys, leaping over defenders, breaking ankles, just doing exactly whatever he wants. This guy is just amazing at what he can do out there on the football field. Only concern for me for Los Angeles is the special teams and secondary. They gave up the block punt last week. Some big plays on the back end. We mentioned Bryce Young was able to make some plays downfield with his wide receivers. Cannot have that again, or the final outcome may not go their way in this one. But I do feel like the Rams will win this one pretty good. I like Los Angeles to go into Chicago and win on Sunday Night Football. All right, everyone, this episode is brought to you by Premium, a CBD health and wellness company. Check out their line of CBD-infused products, which are a perfect after-workout refill for athletes, pain reliever for weekend warriors, and even a natural sports drink for us armchair quarterbacks. Their featured product is CBD-infused honey, which is a personal favorite of mine, as well as tinctures in mint and natural flavors. They are veteran, women, and minority-owned, so come get some of this sweet temptation and taste the premium difference. Use code B&E for 15% off your order. Their website is www.premium.com. And now, back to our show.
All right, time for our parlays of the week. I'm gonna go through the whole damn gamut, y'all. Give me the Bills over the Broncos. Give me the Seahawks over the Niners. give me before I go to that. Give me the Rams over the Bears. Texans and Patriots, man. Like I said, my heart wants the Texans, but if I was a bet man, I'm leaning towards the Patriots right now. So I'm taking the Patriots, but I want the Texans to win. So give me the Bills, the Seahawks, the Patriots, and the Rams is my parlay of the week. What say you, Brandon?
I've got Buffalo over Denver, man. I think Josh Allen's on a mission. Yeah, he's short on wide receivers left and right, but that's when he tends to be at his best. He still has that run play threat. They still have James Cook, who had a monstrous season in a year where he was just awarded a contract. I like Buffalo to go into Denver and win that one, and then Los Angeles over Chicago. Stafford, I think, is going to carve up this Bears defense. Puka Nakul will have another big day, and the Rams front seven, I think they'll make a huge play to help their efforts as well. So Buffalo and Los Angeles.
Got you. One more thing, man. It's crazy. You look at this 2020, was it last year's draft class for the quarterbacks? Three of the top four quarterbacks in there. You got Drake May, you got Caleb Williams,
Yeah,
and Bo Nix are all in the playoffs, the second round of the playoffs, by the way. Definitely going to have at least two of these guys in the conference championship that they win too. So it would be crazy to see. We both got I think you got the Texans, right? Did you say you got the
yeah, I
Texans over
got
the
Houston.
Patriots?
Yep.
That would be if the Patriots somehow win. I'm hoping they don't, but Bills Patriots conference championship, that would be crazy. But I would love to see
Yeah,
Texans Broncos too. CJ, Bo Nix, two young up and coming quarterbacks. That would definitely be crazy. And then honestly, right now, I'm just going to say my Super Bowl. I think it's going to be I'm leaning towards Bills, Rams, low key the Seahawks because that defense, man, is just elite. But I think it's going to be either the Bills, Rams, or Bills Seahawks right now. Bills Seahawks. If Sam Darnold got to a damn Super Bowl, I mean, it would be crazy. Just him getting to the Super Bowl, in my opinion. We'll see how that goes though. But
yeah. I'd have
that's
to.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, I'd have to lean towards if we're going to do it now. Buffalo and Los Angeles as well. I don't want Seattle to go only because Sam Darnold was in the same quarterback class as Lamar Jackson. So that would be would that be he would be the first quarterback. Yeah, he would be the first quarterback of that class. Josh Allen came in. He came in that same year too. But I'd rather deal with Josh Allen winning a Super Bowl because he's been up there in the same level as Lamar. You could say than Sam Darnold, who's someone that's been a journeyman and struggled at
Yeah,
times, than him going to the Super Bowl, whether win or loss. But I'm not even putting harder. I think that the Rams would beat Seattle in the conference championship game. So I'm going to go Buffalo and Los Angeles as well.
gotcha. We'll definitely get into it more next week when the dust is settled and we know who's in the conference championship games. But that's going to do it for another episode of Breaking Entering Podcast, everyone. As always, please like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. Look for Breaking and Entering Podcast or the B&E Podcast. You can follow us on X as well, or otherwise known as Twitter, Podcast B&E. And look for us on Instagram, also B&E Podcast. We will see y'all next time to go over these games, man. Y'all be safe out there.